All right. So again, welcome everyone. And this is our third lesson already. I feel like though sometimes that we've all been together much longer than just a week. So it's great to have everyone here today. So today our lesson, we're going to learn about how to tell a story. And you all will do your homework here in a minute. But I am going to share my screen for a second because before we get into the homework, we're going to talk about children's stories. And can anyone, let me see if I can get this to the slideshow, make this a little bigger. All right. Does anyone recognize any of these pictures in terms of children's stories?
Yes.
Okay, what do you recognize?
Some of them, not all. But...
Okay. Margot?
Cinderella,
Mm-hmm.
red hat. I don't know how it is in English.
It's okay.
I think this is Masha and медведь забыла.
Bears.
Bears. Yeah, yes, bears.
Bear.
And this is actually one picture. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe Tom Sawyer. Or...
No, that is not correct, but that's okay. We'll see. So does anyone know the English name for this one here with the girl with the red cape on?
Red cape.
No, I don't know.
Okay. It's okay. It's Little Red Riding Hood. I will put that.
Oh, yes, Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah. So I'll put that into the chat, Little Red Riding Hood. All right, and then this one was Cinderella, correct? This one here is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And the last one over here is Hansel and Gretel.
Точно.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's in Russian.
What is this?
Yeah, so do you recognize those in either Ukrainian or Russian?
Margot, can you...
Генсель и Гретта. Я тоже знаю такое название. Maybe I have to go. Maybe.
Okay. That's okay. I can actually, give me just, oops, sorry. I did the wrong thing.
Гензель and Greta in Russian.
I can, yeah, I can actually, give me just a second and I will see if we can translate this. I think is Ukrainian. So we said Little Red Riding Hood. Sorry. Little Red Riding Hood. Is this one. And then we had Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Cinderella. I can't spell today, sorry. And the last one was Hansel and Gretel.
About little brother and sister in a beach. I remember that.
Yes, exactly. She lures them to her house and they try to leave like breadcrumbs along the way, but then she eats them, I think, in the end. It's been a long time since I've also listened to or read that one as well. It's not a very nice children's story, to be honest.
Fortunately, I don't know such story.
So these stories are called, fairy tales. And I will type that in here. So it is, that is not coming out very well. Give me just a second. I will change. I don't want the fill color. I want it. Where is the text color. I want to change the text color. Oof. Sorry. I thought I knew where, where to do that. Here we go. It is, that's the highlight color. All right, I'm going to change the size first, make it really big. Shouldn't one of these be, that's the underline, oh, that's the text color. Okay. So let's make it white. I think that will show it better. And then maybe bold it. All right. So that is not looking good at that at all. Let's move this over on top of Cinderella, maybe. There. Comes in, shows up a little bit better. Not on the white. There we go. Okay. Sometimes the colors of the text and the background colors don't mix very well when you're doing these. So I apologize for that. I should have done that ahead of time and had it ready to come in, and I didn't think about it. So this is a fairy tale. And so what is a fairy tale? What is the terminology fairy tale? What does that mean?
It's
Some story
something
with a
some unreal story for
Magical.
for children.
For children, right?
Maybe.
with good end of story.
Usually.
Sometimes I feel like they're not even children's stories, that they're more stories for adults, because they have, some not so nice things in them sometimes. But yeah, fairy tales are about magical creatures and kind of made up tales and stories and things. But we can also learn quite a bit from fairy tales. So what is something that you think you have learned from a fairy tale in the past? Any ideas on that?
It's never happened in real life.
It doesn't happen in real life, right? Cinderella.
But it improves imagination.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It improves imagination for baby and for adults.
Right, and it improves creativity and imagination. Yes. Okay, anything else?
I think Little Prince, very wise fairy tale, because I think it's actually more for adults, more than children, because it a lot of information that author put in this fairy tale between lines. So you have to be more mature to understand this, what author wanted to say to you.
Right.
And I also want to add, if usually the fairy tales are created for children, usually they have some advice or some idea to learn children to be better, learn how deal with problems, learn about kindness.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's very
Or
good.
learn to believe in a better life. To believe, for
Mhm.
children,
Right.
they need to believe in some magic.
Yeah. Even as adults, I think we need to believe in some type of magic at times as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to look at all of this article, but I will share it with you later. But these are 8 lessons that you can learn from fairy tales. And one of them is that anyone can be a hero. So if you know the story of Mulan, in Mulan, she doesn't wait for anyone to protect her. She becomes the heroine, and she protects herself and kind of helps save the day as well. So, in several of the fairy tales, we can see that, where, anybody, maybe what we would call an underdog. I will put that into the chat. An underdog is someone who we wouldn't expect to be the hero or the heroine. Heroine is the female, hero is the male. So we wouldn't expect them to be the person who would win or to have the glory or whatever, right? They're the person that's least expected to have that. So they are the underdog. But in fairy tales, we can see that even someone who maybe they're not the most popular, or they're not the one that is rich, has all the money or things like that, that they can also be a hero and they can win in the end as well. Another one is be kind. We had the picture of Cinderella, and in Cinderella, you know, she was always kind. She was kind to everyone around her, even when she wasn't treated very kindly by her stepmother and her stepsisters. But yet she was a kind individual. And so I think that's another good trait that we can have. Try something new. I truly believe this. I'm all about adventure and trying something new that is out there. And The Little Mermaid basically, you know, gave us that idea that you can go outside your comfort zone. You know, the Little Mermaid was concerned about being able to survive on land because she had, you know, fins. She was a mermaid, but yet she found love, and she wanted to go and explore that love and do something new and different from what she had grown up with. So that is, that's one that I like. I'm always about being outside your comfort zone, doing something a little bit different. So again, we don't have to look at all of these. There's a couple more that are here. So I will share this with everyone in the Telegram group and also in email after class today, so that you can look back at it and read it as well. All right. And hi, Elena. How are you today? You're on mute, Elena. How are you? Maybe she can't hear me.
But we hear you very well.
Okay, good. Is it too loud? Am I talking too loud? Sometimes I do that.
No, it's okay.
Okay, let me just send a message to her real quick just to make sure. Can you hear me? All right, so now we're going to talk about the homework. And we had a video to watch about narrating your life story. Did everyone watch the video? Did everyone have a chance?
Yes, I watched the video.
I watched.
Okay, let me ask this, maybe this way. Did anyone not have a chance to watch the video? Okay, perfect. So Margot, tell me a little bit about the video. Were there any new ideas that you liked, or any new phrases that you liked or learned from the video?
I think the whole idea from video is what happens for a reason in your life. So if it's maybe you failed in some situation, but it may be for a reason, for your for your growth. So I think that.
Okay, perfect. And did you have, were there any new phrases that you picked up, learned, or that you liked, that you heard in the video?
Yeah, I actually, a lot of words and phrases didn't know, and I did a vocabulary for me.
Okay.
With translation. If you want, I can say you something.
Yes, that would be great to share with us.
Sufficient compassion. I didn't know what it means, but
Okay.
I understand now. Bracingly termed. Take stock.
Take stock. Okay.
Yes. Gibberish. And dispiriting.
Disparity. Okay.
Redemptive.
Okay. Excellent.
And so on. It's actually a lot.
No, that's fine. I think it's good to add new words to our vocabulary.
Yeah, but for me it looks like rather ancient language. It's not modern.
Okay. Okay.
And
Excellent.
I even asked my niece, and she said that nobody now use this
Uses it.
vocabulary. It's
Oh, very
complicated
interesting.
even for her.
I think maybe it depends on if you're speaking the language or if you're reading something or even like watching a movie or the news. Okay, so these types of words are going to be more common in news related items, whether you're reading them or watching on TV. They may be in certain types of movies that you watch, but maybe not used in everyday speech. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a very good point. A couple of them you might take stock. I could see maybe using in everyday speech. Gibberish. You could say, oh, he's just speaking gibberish to me, or something like that, that you don't understand what he's talking about, right? So those could be words. Compassion, I would use that if I was speaking to a friend about maybe someone I was dating or something, like do they don't have any compassion, or they have a lot of compassion for other people, for animals, something like that. But disparity, redemptive, sufficient, yeah, I can see that those wouldn't necessarily be everyday speech for sure. It's a very good point, and I think it's good to know some of those differences sometimes between what we would have as everyday speech and then things that we would see more in like movies or in writing and certain things. Yeah, good. Thanks for pointing that out. So Marina, any new ideas that you got from the video and any new phrases that you learned?
I learned some new phrases, but I didn't put them in right. So no.
Okay, no problem.
And now I don't remember. Signify and dignity and signity.
Okay, so signify and dignity.
Yeah.
I can't spell dignity. Okay.
По-моему, signification было. Signification.
The definition for signify. So what signify? So it would mean like to be an indication of something. So the waiter we signified to the waiter that we were ready for our check. It's basically like telling or letting the waiter know that we're ready for the check so we can pay our bill and leave, would be a way of looking at that. The same as to signal something. Okay. And then dignity. Dignity is the it's kind of like your honor or your respect. It's your self-worth.
Yeah.
Having pride in yourself. I have dignity. I'm not going to do that because I have dignity. I have a lot of self-worth. I have a lot of self-respect. Okay. All right, Marina, any other words?
I'd like to speak not about words, but about idea of this film, small film. It's like for me, everything is depends on how from which side you will see situation. It could be you can turn it in a bad way, in bad side, but from other side it could be better than you think about this. So
Yes.
everything is depend what we are thinking about the situation, not the situation. But I believe, but sometimes it's very hard to find those sites which we can see in order to see good good
Yeah.
in each situation. So it's
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
philosophical, a lot of philosophy in this movie.
Yes, that is very true. Yes, thank you. All right, Kalinka, what about you? Any new ideas and any new phrases? that you-
Yes, of course, very philosophical video, a little difficult for me to understand. So I have listen on low speed
Right,
to
that's fine,
understand
perfectly fine.
the works, and also I have seen the subtitles and translate some words, and I still don't understand then the expression struts and frets. Do you remember this? No.
Could you say the first one more time?
Threads and struts and yeah, threads. It's
Struts and frets?
yeah, it's not direct. It's like from the literature, as I was advised by my nephew.
Okay, let's see, struts and frets. Yeah, somehow I didn't pick that up. I'll have to watch it again myself. So let's see what we can find. Struts. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Oh, okay. To strut would be, it's a way that you walk, kind of very stiff, erect. It's kind of like an arrogant type of walk when you strut into the room. So someone who feels very good about themselves, or maybe are conceited, they might strut into a room. It's the presence that they have with their body when they walk into a space.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I also like the idea that usually we think that some very popular or very knowledgeable, very important people to create their own biography, but every life is very important, and we also should analyze our life and in this video mentioned about that usually we suffer from some difficult situation. We analyze our previous life and thinking this was um, meaningless, meaningless, and yes, and awful. But it's not true, because we shouldn't make guilty themselves. We should just learn this situation, analyze, and improve our future.
I agree with that completely. I think everyone has a story, and those stories are important. And in the future, people will want to know what our stories are. Even if we think that we're just living a normal day-to-day life, there's something in our life, in the things that we do, that someone in the future will want to know about. And I think that's important to tell as well, in whatever way that we can tell it. One of the things that I'm fascinated about is finding out the stories of people in the past. Who are the everyday people in the past? Because we hear a lot, from history, we hear about the nobles, the rich people, or the people who won, those whose stories are written about. But we don't hear a lot about just, an everyday person. And those are the stories I like to know about. So I think that is why I feel that in the future, people will want to know what our story is as well. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Svetlana.
Yeah.
So,
I saw this video before our lessons. It was interesting for me, but I should see one more because there were much words which I want to know.
mhm.
And as for biography, I try for myself and for my 3-year-old daughter every day in the evening when we are going to bed, we discuss our day.
I
It's
love it.
something like a biography but for one day.
Mhm.
And she's sleeping and I'm playing and thinking about this day, about my goals and etc. And after that, it depends my next day.
Mhm. I love it.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
but I have to see this video maybe not one more time because it is interesting
Mhm.
and vocabulary for me.
Yes, there is quite a bit of new vocabulary that will be in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And sometimes we do need to watch things more than one time in order to
yeah,
pick up things for sure. So
yeah. I try to see video without subtitles,
yeah,
but not now.
it's okay, no problem. If you all want to, if you do have a chance over the weekend to watch the video again and you have more words that you want to ask about, we can do that on Monday morning, Monday morning for me, sorry, Monday afternoon. When we start class on Monday, we can go through some of those words again, okay?
Yeah,
So
thank
if,
you.
if you all would like to do that, we definitely can. All right, thanks, Svetlana. Valeria, what new ideas did you have and any new phrases? For you?
Yeah, almost new words you already
Okay.
talk about. Yes, but I want to say that after the video, I want to say that I wish I had known that this too shall pass. You know, you feel bad, right? Or you feel great now. This too shall pass. So every story, I think, have a great end.
Yes. That is a good point as well. I like that. It is kind of just a blip or just a small moment in our time, in our life, and better
Yeah,
things
right.
are around the corner for us all. Yes, that's good. I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Elena, do you have a good enough connection at the moment to speak? And she's having some internet issues, so that's okay. Elena, if you have any questions later about any words, you feel free to put them into the chat as well, either the chat in the group or the Telegram chat, and we can look at those then as well. All right. Hi, Ina. How are you today? Hello?
Yeah,
Hi.
hello. I'm fine. I'm trying, yeah, just a second to switch on my camera.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
Hi.
I think I've done it. Yeah,
You're
nice
good.
to see
Nice to
everybody.
see you. Yes.
As for me, the article was not too much difficult. Of course, some words I also didn't know exactly, but I done my best and I really understand the main meaning of the text. And the rest of words which already girl discussed. So I've heard my questions already.
Okay.
So for not to keep our time, I can say, like, for me, for the moment, almost everything is understandable.
Okay, good. Did you have any new ideas or anything that really stuck with you from the video that you liked?
I think I'm agree with my classmate, one of the girl. that to all the things we can look from different sides, and for how many peoples in the world, everybody of us, we think our own way. And of course we can we can think one way, and probably time goes, and later on we'll see like to the back, and we understand the situation the different way. So as for me, we just and I made one of the conclusion: we have to live now and at the moment and enjoy our life, because we never know what will be tomorrow, and probably the day after tomorrow, and it's better not to think for so long future. Of course we have to plan something, we have to organize something for our life, but not to be upset of the situations which we've got. And sometimes you are in the situations when you have to take the life like it is, and just say to the situations hello.
Yeah, very good. All right, thank you for sharing. Okay, so now we're going to hear your stories, and that was your homework for today, and that was to write your story. Just a brief on that. So Margot, I'll start with you if you would like to share your story with us.
Yes. Okay. Just 1 second, I have to open it.
You're fine.
So my name is Margarita. I was born in Ukraine, in a small town called Melitopol, Zaporizhia region. You may have heard the story about Zaporizhia Siege and Zaporizhian Cossacks. After school, I entered the university with degree in marketing. In second year, I became a president of the student council. I was active in cultural and social activities, organized and hosted events and festivals. We traveled with the Korean team to many cities of Ukraine. Later, I became the deputy head of the United Student Council under the Ministry of Agrarian Policy of Ukraine. I worked in Germany during summer on a student program. After graduation, I had several jobs until I realized that I wanted to start my own creative business. So I opened an interior photography studio. We arranged holidays, made various photo zones, decorations, and projects with photographers. Also, I did the volunteer work. Then I moved to Kiev. I worked for an IT startup. And at the same time, I and like-minded people started to develop a pilot for a TV show. In the evenings, I studied at the theater studio. I'm a vegetarian for a healthy lifestyle, love animals, travel, movies, filming, writing, and funny people. That's all.
All right, wonderful. Does anyone
Sounds
have...
like biography.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, sounds like biography,
Yes. That's exactly what it is. Kind of, we're telling our biography. Yes. And that would be a great start to a short story about yourself. If you wanted to write one someday and let people know about your life, you can expand on each of those items and tell people a little bit more, like maybe about the volunteer work that you've done, or even some stories that come up from each of the things that you mentioned in there. How long have you been a vegetarian? Any issues that you've come across in your life with being one? Things like that. You can always expand on any of those if you were to write your story someday. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Margot. Does anyone have any questions about Margot's story that you would like to ask?
Maybe I can ask a question. It's I'm wondering, in order to open photography studio, have you learned did you have special courses or classes for to be photographer, or you are just manager of this?
No, it's actually was the interior photography studio. I did decoration and photo zones, and I cooperated with photographers, a lot of photographers were my friends. So we like win-win.
I see. So you
and
provide
decorations, yes.
decoration.
I do
Okay.
decorations, ideas. We do a lot of outdoors projects, in studio projects. So I'm more like director, organizer. I don't know
I
how
see.
it
Manager. So you are not a professional photographer.
No. I
And-
worked in Bulgaria. Actually, I forgot to add this. In Bulgaria, yes, it's called.
Bulgaria.
Yes, I work like a photographer, but it was on a beach. Actually, I made the
monkeys.
photos from people who uh, riding bananas and, and so on.
Very interesting. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you, Margot. Okay, Valeria, would you like to share your story?
Yeah. I have a short story, but anyway.
Okay.
I would like to tell a story about my observation about the difference mentality between the Ukraine and Britain, because as you know, I 2 months ago, so I have some observation about and to begin with, British always have friendly faces no matter what happens. They respect your own space, even with crowded public transport. In addition, the British care more than who you are as a personality, more than how you look. And the most important that here I have a really huge support as for refugee in banks, at work, with my new friends and family. And it's so impressive me because in Ukraine, you have just a little different life if you move. And it's really impressive here.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Valeria. I love that your story is more about the observations that you have had since living there. And that's a great story to tell as well. When I was in Morocco, I think I was there about 6 months, and I did a similar I have a blog. And so I did a similar post of the things that I had observed in the 6 months that I had been there. And I think it's a great way to let other people know about the new culture that you're living in. And it kind of, you can make it funny, you can kind of, find the humor that is in some of the differences that is there as well. Yeah, good job. All right, does anyone have any questions? You're welcome. Does anyone have any questions for Valeria?
Did you see the Queen?
Of course not. But we have a great holiday. It calls Good Monday. On this year, it was on 2nd of May. 2nd of May?
Yeah.
2nd of May. So it calls Good Monday for because of Queen's birthday. Yes, because of Queen's birthday.
Right.
So, but I didn't see her, of course.
All right, thank you. Okay, Marina.
Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to prepare my speech, but
Okay.
I certainly I was thinking about this task, and what I would like to say, it's now after our situation when we came by all of us came, I understand that everything in our life we should do at the right time. So if you have a possibility to meet somebody, you must meet. If you have possibility to learn something just in by accident, you should bring from your life everything that you can, even if you don't think that it will be useful somewhere
Yes.
sometimes.
I agree with that.
Yes, no.
Okay.
Because if for me, for example, now I'm trying to find relevant job which relevant to my background, and I understand that I have some gaps, and I could bring this knowledge before, but it was not so useful for me for those times, and now I am suffering a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I've often thought in my life that to take advantage of any opportunities that would come my way. And we talk about when a door, when one door closes, another door opens up, and that new door opening up is opportunities for us. I've joked in the past that when one door slams shut, it's not just closing, it is slamming shut. And then a window will kind of crack open just a little teeny tiny bit. But even that little crack in the window is the opportunity that maybe we need to jump on. Maybe that's the opportunity we need to explore and do something different, or to learn something new.
Yeah, at least try.
Sorry, my allergies are bothering me really bad today, so I apologize. Sorry about that. So yeah, I completely agree with that philosophy that, anytime we have an opportunity to learn something new, or to go somewhere new,
or to go something, somewhere,
do something, then we should take advantage of it, for sure. We may not always want to, and that is where my introverted side of me starts coming into play, where I'm like, no, I don't want to leave the house tonight. I don't want to go and be around a bunch of people or whatever. But I always feel better when I go and do those things, when I'm trying to tell myself I don't want to. So
yeah.
All right, great. Thanks, Marina. Does anyone have a question for Marina?
Actually, it's not a question. It's like a wish for you, Ali. Maybe in future, another day, we can have some lesson with job interview topic.
Yes.
Because it will be very useful for us.
Yeah. We will. Actually, lesson number 8 is about.
Actually, so
yeah.
Is it the last?
So if it's possible, it will be great.
Yes. Lesson number 8 is about looking at your CVs and how to look for a job, all that kind of stuff. So yes, we will. And we're going to end today's lesson doing a little bit about some of that as well, dealing with your story and how to pitch yourself to someone for a job interview. But we'll get to that in just a moment. But yes, it is in the plans for sure. Great suggestion. All right. Thank you. Kalinka, what is your story?
First, I wouldn't support the idea which Marina said before, that in our situation we should look on this like adventure and use all opportunity which we can have. And unfortunately, I also don't prepare due to my busy week, but I will try some exprompt, for example, based on our lesson today. So one upon a time, yeah,
Once upon a
upon
time. Yes, I like that.
when
Perfect.
I was a child, my grandmother told me a story about her when she was a child. In their village, came to very old stranger, and he was sign
Okay.
people who predict the future.
Okay.
And many people believe that he can see the future. And he told many story people about the future. And my grandmother said that unfortunately she remember only few. And she taught me this story, and unfortunately I remember only one from this few. I want to share with you. So he said that in future, all world will be covered with net.
Mm,
And I and my grandmother was thinking what it may be, why all world will be covered with net. In
mhm.
only when I became a teenager and people create internet, I
Yes.
understand what it means.
That is like incredible. It kind of gives me chills to think about that, yeah, how that was predicted that way. Very interesting.
So it's my story.
I
It's
love
part of
it.
my biography.
I love that. And that, stories from our ancestors are also great stories to pass on if they haven't already been told. That's another great thing that we can do. And when we tell a story, it doesn't have to be something written. It can be a verbal story as well. You can do videos or recordings or something that tell your story from your ancestors and things too. So I love that story. I think that would be a great one to pass on to other people.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, it's very interesting. All right, any questions for Kalinka about her story?
Thank you. It's a very interesting story, and it's sometimes it's interesting to know how it came with time, how it can change our mind. But I'd like to make it clear. Maybe I don't express my thoughts very clear, but when I told about our previous slide, I'm not consider our present life like adventure. It's not. You don't.
But I
you understand.
consider.
Maybe I need to be more precise. I'll try, but here we are here to learn to express our thoughts for people to be understand. So
No, Maria, maybe it's because I thinking about me that I look, I'm see now my situation like adventure. So it's maybe I understand in this way. Maybe it's not your fault, of course.
Right. And that is something that's very important to understand, is that everyone's story is going to be different. And the way that we view our current life is going to be different from someone else. Every one of you here in class today is going to view your life and your circumstances and what's going on currently in the world. You're all going to view it differently. You're going to have a different outlook on that. And that's perfectly valid. It's perfectly okay to have the different thoughts. There's no one right answer. Let's put it that way. There's no one right answer in life for anything, right?
Yeah, you are right, but I'm worried just about to be to express my thoughts, and if somebody can understand me in another way, it's some like task for me to be more clear.
All right. So let me ask you, in your native language, in Ukrainian, is Ukrainian your native language or is it Russian?
Be honest, it's Russian, but Ukrainian, it's almost the same. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know certain parts of Ukraine, Russian is spoken more than in other areas as well. So, but the point is that, are you able to express yourself in your native language, or is this an issue that you also have in that native language? Because if you also have that issue in your native language, it's going to be even more difficult to express yourself in English or in another language, right? So sometimes it may be that we need to work on that in our native language before we start trying to do it in a new language that we have. And that's something you have to think of, for yourself, and, kind of explore within your own self there.
Yeah, it's another problem, because when you faced with some question and you think, oh, I even can express it in my native language, how can I express it in English? So yeah,
Right.
it's another side of how.
And we'll try, as much as possible, try to help you, learn to express yourself better in English. And then maybe from that, you can work on expressing yourself in Ukrainian, right? We can go backwards that way.
Yeah, two ways.
Yes, exactly. All right. But again, don't be too concerned about that. Okay. Yeah. Just kind of go with it and learn from each other as we're doing all of these exercises and activities. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Svetlana.
Yeah. I haven't prepared a story for today too, but I try explain my main story or my goals in life. I prefer discover the world. And before my maternity leave, I visited more than 20 countries.
Excellent.
And I like compare different countries and people and nationalities. And all my life, as I remember, I would move to another country. But when happens that situation in my country, and when I was moving to Poland, first of all, it was strange. I had strange feelings that I love Ukraine. I don't want to go anywhere, but I was surprised, and I am surprised with people, with another people, with I don't remember name, who told woman now about her observation, and it's very interesting. And
Valeria.
I like Valeria, yeah, and I like, and I think that we have accept everything with gratitude, and everything happens in its time. And as for me personally, it's easier think about my life and my family as like fairy tale, that anyone and you can be hero. You have to try everything and never be afraid. And when your mind doesn't stop in problems or bad or good situation, it will be better for you. That's why in Ukraine says don't take heart in your mind. I don't know how it's saying in English.
Okay. I think I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Wonderful. And I understand, I can't understand fully, but I do understand a little bit of what you're saying with, you after visiting, these countries, and you have this idea that you would like to live somewhere else. and you know, I've had that as well. And I do live in Mexico, and I've lived in Morocco and in Vietnam as well. And I've traveled quite a bit. And you know, there always was that idea that I wanted to live outside of the US. But I've had the choice to do that. It was my choice to leave. And unfortunately, you all did not have the choice to leave. And it does make things different, I think. In how you feel. And I think you probably do have, so I'm struggling with the right word I'm looking for here at the moment, deeper feelings, maybe more patriotism for your country, because you have been forced to relocate to another area. I'm patriotic for the US, but I haven't been forced to leave from there. So it is a different feeling that is there for that. So it's understandable. And I admire all of you for, you know, coming through with all of this and you know, being willing and able to share your experiences and your stories and things as well. Because I know it can't be easy, right?
But yes, it's a bad situation, but it's our new chance, it's our new life. Maybe it's our life,
Right.
and we have to live it and like it. I don't know how it's spelled.
Right. You're right. You know, maybe this is the opportunity that
Yeah.
you need to have something bigger and better for yourself that you wouldn't have had if you had stayed. We don't know that. We can hope and keep our fingers crossed and just, you know, keep hoping that that is what is going to happen for everyone as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I fully believe that everyone is going to find their purpose in your new life as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Svetlana, for sharing. Does anyone have a question for Svetlana?
It is not a question, but it's like, you know, some additional information for people who maybe know, who maybe think about, should I move to another country for now, for example, or I back in Kiev, or maybe I should stay, for example. But for now, of course, we do love our country, of course. But anyway, for now, for Ukrainians, it's a great opportunity to move somewhere and just try. You lose nothing. You can try. If you don't want, of course you can back. But imagine if you can change your life. I think it's great opportunity for now, because we have a lot benefits in many countries. These benefits Ukrainians didn't have before. So if for example, I think about, I want to move somewhere and try a couple years ago, believe me, it will be so difficult. Now it's really easy, because you have benefits. You can have free place for living. You can have some benefits with work. So it is much easier, not really easy, but much easier to try it. And of course you can, after you can choose. Of course you can stand, you can leave. It is only your opinion, but I think it's great opportunity to try for now, especially for young people, especially.
I think that the bigger part of refugees who move somewhere doesn't come back to Ukraine.
I am totally agree.
Because it's our new life.
Unfortunately, but I am agree.
Because when you have children or your own life and you build new life, you don't come back, unfortunately. Unfortunately or not, but it's fact. Yeah, sorry.
Ina?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with Ali that the reason is all of us, we were forced to move, and we didn't have a choice. And of course, some of us are here. I mean, it's that people who probably thought in the past about moving somewhere to different countries. And of course, for these people, it's like a good chance. I mean, because it's more easier to do now than if you wanted to do before. But for so many people, they didn't want to go anywhere. They were okay in their country. They had almost everything. They had their lovely job, their houses. They had their children who been organized. And of course, if you have got a choice, it's much more easier for your mentality and for your physical sources. So of course, I wish everybody luck, but we didn't have any choices.
Right. And I agree with that. I agree with everything that everyone has said. You know, we should try to take advantage of the opportunities that have been put before us, but it can be very, very difficult because of the fact that you were forced to leave. You may have wanted to, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you were going to do that at some point in your life. And so you have to, you have to adjust those mental and physical feelings and emotions and things that are coming up for you. And I'm sure on a daily basis or multiple times in a day that you're dealing with that as well. I hope you all can use each other as comfort resources when you need to, you know, use our group or connect with someone offline, you know, if you need to talk, because you all are all going through the same thing. And one of you may have already gone through some of these emotions and someone else is just starting to go through those emotions, because we all deal with that type of these types of situations differently and in different time frames as well, right? So use one another to help work through some of that, right? I think that is part of what these English classes are. It's not just about improving your English, but it's helping connect you to other people who are in a similar situation that that you can talk with and be friends with. Okay, so feel free to use the chat for that. I'll stay out of it, let you all just talk on your own, because all I can do is offer my sympathy and my empathy for everyone. I don't know that I have any other words that I can offer for you, but I'm here to listen as well. If anybody ever needs to talk, I can be a listening ear for any of you at any time as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Aina, your story. Do you have a story?
Mine?
Yes. Do you have a story you'd like to share?
I can tell my story.
Mhm.
My name is Zina. I'm
Mhm.
from Ukraine, like everybody here. I'm from Sumy. It's not a big town. It's not far from Kharkov, and I've got a family. I've got two sons and my husband. So the reason is I'm now in London. It's because the war was started in my city just at the first day, because on the 24th of February, in our Sumy, which is just 60 kilometers from the Russian border, there were already so many soldiers, Russian soldiers. We didn't even, understand in the morning what is going on in the city. So it was it was a shock for everybody.
Mhm.
And of course, from the first day, we started to think about leaving. And I think I'm lucky, like a woman, because my husband was abroad at that moment on his business trip. And of course, he called me like, I'm coming back and blah, blah, blah. But I stopped him because we've got two sons, and I understood straight away that it's very serious situation. So now we are here all together. We came here because I've got a cousin here. So so it's a little bit story about how we appeared here. I am a bank manager. I worked for Raiffeisen bank system for 15 years, and I've got two of my sons. One of him is 12 and the other one is 17. And now they are here and they go to the college. I'm very happy for them because they enjoy their studying here. I was very worried about it because it's a great change for them in their life, for us, of course. And a little story which I'd like to tell to everybody, just to make a little bit laugh. Just because I've got my cousin here and she lived here for 20 years. I even don't remember for how long. So of course we visited her very often. And one time when we came in summer to visit her for our holidays, she brought us to Leeds Castle. And it's a very nice castle. I suggest everybody to see him, to visit it, sorry. And it was very interesting situation over there because my younger son, he was just 5 years old at that moment. And there were so many goose. They were, just on the green grass, walking. And we just said, no. So we bought for my son is like a thing. I don't know how to call it in English, when you can fight, for
sword
boys.
fighting, like a sword fighting.
Yeah,
yes.
Sword fighting. Yeah. So we in a museum shop, and he was carrying this thing. So, and we were laughing like Sasha. My son's name is Sasha. Don't touch these goose, please, because they belong to the queen. And my son, older one, he said like a joke, no, you just take one of them for our dinner because we don't have anything to eat. And he ran straight away to these geese, and he was trying to catch one. We were so worried and laughing. And we even worried that we will have any penalty, I don't know, because everyone is walking slowly in this park. And my son, he was running, trying to catch this goose. So I remind myself this story, and I decided to tell everybody just to not to think only about bad things and to see your smiles.
That is a good story. Also, speaking of sword fighting, one of my bucket list items is to learn how to sword fight. I don't know why. It's something I've always wanted to learn how to do. I think it's because I read too many historical romance novels where the female character was able to sword fight and she was able to protect herself. I guess going back to the fairy tales we were talking earlier, right? And being able to be your own hero. And so I've always wanted to learn how to sword fight for that reason. So did your son learn how to sword fight?
Yeah, at that time it was like a time to try it, but he doesn't like to fight. I mean, I think normally boys they like it. But my son, he likes to play music. He plays the guitar. He's like this, to understand. He likes to listen to the music, to play music, to go slowly and to see. But at that moment, it was very funny.
Yes, absolutely.
Story about him.
All right, excellent. Does anyone have a question for Ina about her story?
Everything is understandable. We didn't have any soup of the geese.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is, did you end up getting a goose and having a goose soup or anything? Excellent. Okay. So does anyone have any other questions that may have come up while you were listening to any of the stories or anything that you want to ask about right now? before we move into the next section? Okay, so the
No,
next,
I
yes.
have question, but it's not connected with
that's okay. That's fine
topic.
too. Mhm.
Girls, do you find the way how how change our money from Ukrainian cards in hryvnia to British cards in pounds? Because I don't
question.
know how.
It's no chance to change it
No
because
chances.
we don't have. Yes, we tried it, and you can just pay in a card machine, and that's all. You can't take the cash. You can't to make any transaction in another card. So you can only use it in card machine as a, I don't know, as a payment. Yeah, is a retail point. So
Thank you.
that's,
Not only card machine, but I, for example, I use my credit card in each shop when I
Yes, of
buy
course.
something.
But
You can pay, yeah.
I asked this question.
only this way. Only this way.
I asked this question because unfortunately the exchange rate of hryvnias go slow down. So I'm thinking about how to exchange
Yes,
hryvnia to the pounds.
You can withdraw money in
no chance.
this,
No chance.
no withdraw money.
Oh, maybe.
Withdraw,
No
but
chance to make
You maybe in
transaction
pound,
from.
in pound.
Sorry, Marina, can you, yeah.
Yeah, I think that maybe there is a chance to withdraw money from your hryvnias card in pounds. Just it means that machine will convert your
Yes, I
hryvnias
know.
to pounds.
I know about this opportunity, but unfortunately, the exchange rate by this machine higher than if I transfer money from one card to other.
Mhm.
yeah, it's one
Unfortunately,
way.
yeah, and unfortunately that's the case in any time that you need to go from one currency to another currency. I deal with that as well here in Mexico, also with going from pesos to dollars and dollars to pesos. It's like, I feel like it's robbery sometimes, you know, the currency rates and the conversion rates as well that you have to pay. I know here that in our machines, we can say that we don't want to pay the conversion rate and we'll still get the pesos, but we don't, we can save a little bit of money with the conversion if we choose not to accept the conversion rate. I don't know if that's something that can be done where you are when you're converting from the Ukrainian dollars to the British pound. Does anyone know?
No, actually, we have only local cards. I mean, only Ukrainian
Right.
cards, and it means that we can't use it for international transaction. Any international transaction, any bank was blocking this. So
Okay.
you don't have any opportunity to try. I try for, so no chance. So you can try.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
And
really sorry.
I try to do it with international card. With international, I mean with a dollars card, but just because it was opened in UA, so I can't do this.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone has any type of a resolution or comes across anything, that would be good information to share, I think, in the Telegram group as well. I think those types of things are good to share. And, you know, you've got the resource center that hopefully they can help provide some of that also. I'm really sorry. That's all I can say is I'm really sorry you all are struggling with that as well, with everything else that is going on, that you that it's even difficult to have access to your own money and things. It cannot be easy. So I think instead of finishing up the lesson that I had planned, because we really don't have time to get into it, I'll add this part onto the next lesson on Monday. We're going to talk about how we sell ourselves and what are some words that we can use to talk about our skills and our abilities. So we'll do that on Monday. But for now, I think the next couple of minutes is if anyone has any other questions or any other things that they want to share with anyone. It doesn't have to do with today's lesson. It can do with your life, just, things like this that Kalinka was asking, anything else that you all want to talk about, please feel free to do so. Anyone?
Um,
Also, can I ask?
you first. You first.
Go ahead, Valeria.
Kalinka, you first.
Maybe someone share their experience participate in a volunteer job here in Britain, because I registered on a special site. All volunteer job will introduce in about this in the city site. So I published my resume, and they asked me to this volunteer job, but unfortunately I can't, and I don't understand how it works. It's I think it should be before meeting, before they assess my skills, communicate with me and understand is suitable I for this works or not. But they just sent me the invitation to participate in event, and I don't understand. I just go, and what I will do, and I don't know anything. I'm new here, so maybe anybody share the experience with some volunteer works in Britain.
Okay, Marina.
I'd like to ask you, what kind of job did you apply?
In Kiev, I try to improve my English, I said before, and I create the group of tour guides. So in my resume, I write that first I work as a tour guide, and second that I work with child before. When I was a student, I work in a teenager camp, and it's a museum of rare British, no, countryside, rare British. Help me with this word. So
I can't think either right now.
in Kiev, we have the same museum, Pirogova. Girls, do you know?
Yeah, sure.
Pirogov. So it's like here in this Reading, this I suppose the same museum like Pirogova in Kiev, and ancient buildings.
I think for this kind of job you need to have license, and as I understand, volunteering is like when you do something that they want of
Yes,
you to do, not your proposal. And
yes. They read my CV and have seen that I work guide and I work with child. It will be the excursion for child in this place. And I don't know exactly what the volunteer job they try to invite me.
let's see, but
anyway,
are you going to go to assessment?
I can't, because I was in English courses by
Okay.
yes, I want to visit this place, just see what is it and how it's work.
I would do that when you can and just ask them, the questions. I'm unfamiliar with how volunteering works in Britain. I do know that in relationship with working with children, I think there are certain laws that are in place, and you have to, have some kind of like background check or something. But I'm not fully aware of all of that. In the U.S., there is some background check that needs to be done with working with children as well. And then as far as volunteering, I worked with an organization that if somebody wanted to volunteer with us, we took them. It didn't matter what their skills were necessarily, if they just expressed an interest. And they did the work, basically. Once someone expressed an interest and then they choose not to actually do what we've asked them to do, we wouldn't ask them to come back to be a volunteer. So it could be something very similar, but again, I'm not familiar with the laws and how volunteering works in Britain, if it's any different. So I would just ask them the questions about that, for sure.
I was trying to find volunteering work, and I checked Scottish refugee site in order to find, and I found some opportunities, but it's not like this opportunities doesn't fit to my willing to do. So it's like accompany, for example, some people to go to some event or something like that. But anyway, it is something that they like of you, what to do. They propose you what you can do, but I cannot propose that I can do something and please give me.
Sometimes after you have worked with an organization and you've done what they are needing, then you can also assess the situation and let them know what your skills are and that you could do something else with them as well. But a lot of times people do have specific needs in the moment that they're looking for volunteers for, and then other opportunities can come up from that later. Yeah.
Marina, how do you put the hand?
It's a reaction, and you can see raise your hand.
There's also like you can clap for someone if you agree with them. Yeah, your thumbs up. Yes. Yeah. We could also do
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, everyone. So there will be no homework for Monday, other than I want you to think about what your skills and abilities are. Okay, you can write them down if you want to, but we'll spend a little time on Monday starting off with that, because what we're going to do is look at how we sell ourselves for a volunteer opportunity or for a job or something like that. So we're going to work on creating an elevator speech. And then this will lead into I think it's lesson number 8 that we'll be talking about our CVs and cover letters and job hunting and things as well. Okay. So thinking about stories that we've told about ourselves today, and thinking about, what your skills and abilities are. And then all of this will start kind of relaying over into one another as we move through our lessons. Okay.
Yeah.
Any final questions for today?
No more questions. No.
Thank you all very much. It was a lovely session, and I appreciate everyone sharing your stories and your concerns and your feelings and everything as well. I know it's not always easy to do, but I appreciate it. And I do want this, as I said before, I want this to be a safe space for everyone also, whether it's here in our class or it is in the Telegram group or through email, whatever, it is a safe space for everyone. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. I will get the recording out to you as soon as I can, probably be about the same kind of timing as before, because I have other classes I have to teach this afternoon, so I'll get to it later today. I have another video that I'm going to share with you. Again, it's not something you have to do for homework or anything like that. It's just if you want to, and it's called The Danger of a Single Story. It's one of my favorite YouTube videos that I've ever watched. And so I just want to share it with you if you choose to have the time to watch it as well. Okay. And I also will send the article that I showed earlier about the lessons we can learn from the fairy tales. And so I'll send all of that out later today for everyone. Okay. All right.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you very
great
much.
day.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
You too.